For the past 8 years, the Dallas Cowboys have heard the call time and again.
Breaks away to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith. Oh, what a run.
Emmitt Smith has been the NFL's most valuable player and a Super Bowl MVP.
He's got the 25. He's got the 20. He's got the 10. He's got the touchdown. And he's got the NFL rushing championship.
He's won 4 league rushing titles. Tonight, Dallas needs Emmitt Smith more than ever because the Cowboys are hurting. Quarterback Troy Aikman is injured, so when the Cowboys take the field moments from now, Emmitt knows what he and his teammates must do.
Regardless of who you have in the game, and regardless if they're first team or second team or third team, the bottom line is execution. You still have to execute, and you still have to go out there and make the plays and take care of business. That's the bottom line.
The business at hand for Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys is tonight's game with the New York Giants. And the bottom line is the winner is the early season leader in the NFC East. The Cowboys and the Giants meet tonight on ABC's Monday Night Football. And a look across the Hudson at the heart of the Big Apple, the Empire State Building in the background. We pull back and now high above Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Sold out as always as tonight the Giants take on the Dallas Cowboys. Al Michaels with Dan Dierdorf and Boomer Esiason. Each team has started its season in similar fashion. Each looked very impressive winning on opening day. Each looked very bad in losses last week. So tonight, the third week in a very weak division. The NFC East doesn't figure to send a wild card team. The division winner is the only team that figures to go to the playoffs. It's particularly critical for the Cowboys with a rookie coach and a quarterback making only his third career start. The Giants and Cowboys tee it up when we come back. Aikman be back? Well, for the answer, let's go down to Leslie Visser.
Al, he says he's hoping to be back in 3 weeks, although the doctors say 4 to 8. But Troy, as you know, back up tonight, your good friend Jason Garrett. What gives you confidence in him?
Well, I think he's been in this situation before. He's been with the club for the past 6 years. The players have confidence in him. He has confidence in what he's going to be able to do. And I think he's going to come out and play exceptionally well.
Big night for him and the Cowboys. Thanks, Troy. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. And the New York Giants will get the ball first. The Cowboys to kick off. Toby Goen, who came into the weekend leading the league in punting, and also, as you can see, 8 touchbacks on 13 kickoffs, and that's the best percentage in the league. David Patton is number 83, and Amani Toomer is number 81. And here we go from Giant Stadium. This is Toomer from the 2-yard line, and the former Michigan star is decked at the 15. Good special teams coverage by the Cowboys, led by Sherman Williams, the backup to Emmitt Smith. Now a look at the New York Giants with Danny Cannell, who played his college football under Bobby Bowden at Florida State, took over as the starter last year in the Dallas game from Dave Brown, who's now at Arizona. So Cannell at quarterback, and behind him, Tiki Barber and Charles Way in the backfield, Callaway and Hilliard outside. Howard Cross is the tight end. And on first down, Cannell under a lot of pressure, but gets it off, and it's caught by Charles Way, who gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Greg Ellis put the heat on that time. As we take a look at the offensive or defensive line, the offensive line first for the Giants, Oben, Bishop, Scott, Stone, and Gragg, who let, among other people, Ellis, the #1 draft choice for the Cowboys, come through that time. Second down as the Giants come up spread out of the shotgun, and Cannell barking signals at the line. On second down and 10, it is caught for a first down by Chris Callaway. Great catch and an 11-yard gain, covered by Woodson at the 31-yard line. Let's take a look now at the Dallas defense, and up front where they've got no pressure in the first 2 games. Pittman, Leon Lett in and out of the lineup, along with Headings and Ellis, their #1 pick from North Carolina. Godfrey, Strickland, and Coakley are the linebackers, and the secondary is outstanding with Smith and Sanders at the corners, Stoutmeyer and Woodson the safeties. This is Charles Way bulling his way up to the 30-yard line and a first down.
I like the way the Giants are coming out tonight. They're throwing the ball, but the thing that I'm really concerned about is that Danny Cannell took 2 hits on 2 successive plays to start the game.
And Boomer, after the second one, he came back to the huddle limping noticeably. Look at him right now, headed to the line of scrimmage. Cannell favoring one of his legs. 2 big hits on the opening 2 plays.
2nd down and 6 now from the 30-yard line. Good protection this time, and the pass is errant, intended for Charles Way, covered by the linebacker Dexter Coakley. We should also mention at the top, when we look at the Giant lineup with Way and with Barber, they have also activated Tyrone Wheatley, who has been inactive the first 2 weeks. He has his weight down, his head back on, and he will see a lot of action tonight.
Hey, there's one quick way to get yourself off a roster, and that's to eat yourself off a roster. You have to be disciplined as a football player all the way around.
From the gun, 3rd down and 6 at the 30-yard line on the game's opening drive. Cannell hangs in, throws, and it's caught by Charles Way, but short of the 1st down. He is stopped up at the 33, and the Giants pick up 1 1st down, and now Jim Fossil has to send in the punting unit.
Real nice defensive series that time by the Cowboys. That time Danny Cannell gets knocked down again. In this league, you have to knock the quarterback down and make him think about where the rush is coming from as the game goes on.
Brad Maynard to punt, and Deion Sanders, looking for early divine intervention, is back at the 20-yard line. Maynard, who led the league in number of punts last year, floats one to Sanders at the 21, and number 21 moves to the outside and finds no room at all. Stopped up at the 23. Good coverage by the Giants. Forced out by Sam Garnes. 2.5 minutes into the game, the Cowboys and Garrett get the ball. The Dallas Cowboys have the ball 2.5 minutes into the game. We talked about Jason Garrett at length on our pregame show, and here he is in his 3rd start. Smith and Johnston in the backfield. Davis and Irvin outside. David LaFleur, the big tight end. And up front, Larry Allen, the slim down Nate Newton, Clay Shiver, Everett McIver, a new Cowboy, and Eric Williams. The interior 5, Troy Aikman, can only spectate and hopes to be back by the middle of October. So here comes Garrett. Funny thing about a backup quarterback, you think about a backup as being young and up and coming. Garrett is actually 8 months older than Aikman. From the 23 on 1st down, out of the eye, and they begin it with Emmitt Smith. And the Giants bunch him up after a gain of 1, led by Ryan Phillips, who is starting in place of Marcus Buckley. Let's take a look at that Giant defensive unit. The ends have been outstanding, with Strahan and Bratsky each with 4 sacks in their first 2 games. Harris and Hamilton in the middle. Armstead, Widmer, and Phillips getting the start, though we will see a lot of Buckley tonight. Sparks and Hamilton outside. Garnes and Wooten are the safeties. And remember, they lost probably their best defensive performer, Jason Sehorn, the cornerback, in preseason, running back a kickoff. Hamilton is in that spot. 2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line. And here's Emmitt Smith through the middle. And Emmitt, averaging 4.4 yards per rush this season, taken down at the 27.
You know, this week in New York, Jim Fossil has really put the hat on Harris and Hamilton in the middle. Felt like they didn't really play as well as they could have last week against Oakland. So these guys have got the light shining on them as far as the Giants are concerned.
And the light right now is shining on Deion Sanders, who is seeing his first offensive action of the season. And the knowledgeable New York crowd senses it as he splits out wide to the left on 3rd down and 6 out of the shotgun. Garrett throws under pressure. It is caught, and Irvin is down, and he is short of a 1st down. So they needed 6, and they go to only about 4 as Michael is stopped at the 30, and it's 3 and out.
Well, actually, Michael Irvin makes the catch up around the 32-yard line, still about 1.5 yards short of the 1st down, and he's driven back to the 30, and that's where they spot the ball. But see where Michael makes the catch well beyond the 30-yard line, but he did not get the benefit of any forward progress.
Toby going punting, and Amani Toomer is back to receive it. Flag is thrown. Kick bounces at the 35 and hops out of bounds at the 41.
I hope this flag isn't a harbinger of things to come after the game the Giants played last week against the Raiders. 31 penalties in that game, 15 of them against the boys in blue, 16 against the Raiders, and that's a football game that's hard to watch.
Walt And Joe Avizama, the longtime Cowboys special teams coach.
On the return team, during the kick, number 22, 10 yards, first down.
You can really go way back with a fossil.
Yes. Sharon defensively until tonight from their front four. That was Ellis on the first play, and then a shot from Lett and from Kavika Pittman. So 3 of the 4 Dallas defensive linemen have already made Cannell's acquaintance on the first series. Now New York with the ball for the second time, and this is Way straight ahead. Charles up to the 35 for a gain of 3.
You know, the interesting thing about the Dallas defense is that last week they were embarrassed by the Denver Broncos, and that probably won't be the last team that the Denver Broncos do that to. But what the Giants are going to try to do tonight is try to run up inside, because Leon Lett is a little bit banged up, and so is Chad Hennings, and they feel like they can exploit that.
Boomer, I'll bet you the rest of the year Denver doesn't do to anybody what they did to Dallas in the first half last week. That was one of the great offensive outputs of all time.
5 possessions and 5 touchdowns, and that's caught by the tight end Cross. Howard is the oldest of the Giants at the age of 31 and very close to a first down. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Jeep, makers of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, Cherokee and Wrangler. Miller Lite reminds you to enjoy Miller Lite with friends. Claritin and AT&T, it's all within your reach.
Thank goodness for the Giants actually got a first down. They don't want to go into the third down situation. They haven't been very good at that the last 2 weeks.
As Dan mentioned, at the top 3 out of 26.
I think they're 0 for 1 tonight.
Yep. First down from the 42. And that's caught by Chris Callaway, but as Jim Foster was saying last night, part of the problem is if you don't do the job on first and second down, you put yourself in a position for third and long.
And it's not the strength of the Giants passing game is a third and long situation. It's not what Danny Cannell does the best. It's not what they spend a lot of time practicing on. But if you got to go to someone who's reliable, always go to number 80. And that was a good job, Boomer, digging a ball out that was low.
Absolutely, and it was an audible that time by Danny Cannell.
Second down and 4. Action up front, and the penalty will be against the Giants. Walt Coleman is the ref.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 78, 5 yards, still second down.
Really, Danny Cannell's strength is his accuracy and really his intelligence. And Jim feels very comfortable about letting him call plays and audibles at the line of scrimmage. But he also wants Danny to hurry it up a little bit. He wants to get that tempo going.
Jim Fossil, as an assistant coach for years, has made 10 appearances on Monday Night Football. Chan Gailey has made 21 as an assistant, and tonight each makes his first as a head coach. As Cannell throws, and it's behind the intended receiver, Callaway, tipped by Deion Sanders.
It's actually one of the rare times you get to see Deion defense a pass. This guy spends most of his football life standing over at the right corner position, just being a spectator. Not many guys challenge him, Boomer.
You have to be careful against him. You know, he's dangerous. He'll take chances. He is so confident in his ability to go after the football that you better be aware of where he is standing when you throw that football.
That pass might have surprised Deion.
Third down and 9. Cowboys nearly jump. In fact, they do. Flag against Dallas. Free throw, and it's dropped by David Patton. And Patton reaching for his knee. Sanders hunched over him. Patton, one of the reserve wide receivers in the 3 and 4 wideout sets, goes hobbling off.
You know, as a quarterback, you can sense the rush in a game.
Offside, defense, number 97, 5 yards, still third down.
You can see Deion here. They're physical, the defensive backs for the Dallas Cowboys. That's how they're taught. And, I mean, you can't tell me that's not interference.
Well, first of all, he hit him well beyond the 5-yard zone the first time, and then he whacks him on the head again when Patton makes his break to the inside. And Patton in obvious real pain over on the Giants sideline.
Third down and 4. Joe Jurevicius, the rookie from Penn State, takes his spot. Cowboys show blitz. Here they come. It's a jailbreak, and it's knocked away by George Teague.
It's a jailbreak because they bring everybody up the middle. and you can't block everybody up the middle. The fastest place to get to the quarterback is right through the center. The Dallas Cowboys had a lot of success last year blitzing up the middle of the Giant offensive line.
Now you blitz Steve Young like this, Boomer, he leaves the pocket.
Right.
Are you more trusting in doing a blitz like that when you're going against Cannell?
Well, they also have a good feel for what the offense of the Giants is trying to do, so they want Danny to throw the ball quickly and force him into mistakes. He did a good job getting rid of the ball that time.
Brad Maynard to punt. Deion Sanders is going to let it bounce at the 11, and then it goes out of bounds, and it will be spotted at the 8-yard line.
Boy, you love a punter that can do that with some consistency.
Jets, who yesterday blew out the Colts at this very facility. Now tonight, the Giants and Cowboys scoreless. Almost halfway through the opening period. Dallas from its own 8-yard line. Emmitt Smith behind Johnston swings to the outside and picks up about 3. Conrad Hamilton, the corner, up to stop him. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Al, you heard in the pregame Frank Gifford talked about Jim Garrett, Jason's father. Well, he's not here tonight. Jason told me before the game that Jim is watching the game at their home in Monmouth, New Jersey. He didn't want to put pressure on him. But Jim Garrett told me that Jason is his hero. He said every young person should know what it would be like to be an undrafted player from the Ivy League starting on Monday night. Al?
Well, he's guiding the Cowboys in what is a very important early season game, 2nd down and 6. And that is caught by Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt takes it up to the 16-yard line. He's a couple of yards shy of the 1st down. Philippi Sparks comes up to tackle him.
All right, these are the things that Jason can do very well. Just take the short stuff in the flats. He has to be very careful about who's out there waiting for him, looking for zones and things. He's taking his time. He shows good poise and nice accuracy.
Chan Gailey last night, when he talked about Garrett, we said, what's the best thing about him? He said he moves the team and the intangibles. 3rd down and 2 from the 16-yard line as he tries to move the team here. And they toss it to Smith, and Emmitt runs into traffic, but the veteran is able to swing it to the outside. Needed 2 and got 3. Wooten and Williams stop him.
If they get into 3rd and short, they're going to be very difficult to stop the 2nd best rushing team in football right now. And they've really got it going on the ground.
Well, if ever a unit had a challenge presented to them, it has to be this offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys. When your quarterback goes down, I know as a former offensive lineman, you love this opportunity to win a football game. And that is what this front 5 has to be saying to themselves. We can win this game if we can control the offensive line of scrimmage and get 1st downs.
And the fake to Smith under pressure, set up the screen, and this is Emmitt threading his way up to the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd and short, tackled by Widmer.
I would imagine that the offensive line coach went in this week and said, look, guys, the franchise is down. It's our team. We have to get in there. We have to protect our players. We got to help Jason. We got to help Emmitt. This is our team now. And they have guys up there, Allen and Williams, being the 2 Pro Bowlers that can do that.
And Nate Newton, there's some Super Bowl rings on that offensive line, that this is when you need them to stand tall and take over.
2nd and 2, and Emmitt Smith needs a break, as he does right now. He calls for Sherman Williams, and so Williams is the tailback. And Garrett to throw, hit as he throws and gets it off, but one hops it to Michael Irvin.
There's your blitz up the middle, Boomer.
Woo, man.
Corey Widmer.
This is what you have to do as an NFL quarterback. You have to stand in there. You know you're going to get it right in the teeth, and you have to try to deliver the ball. You can see this time Widmer coming right up the gut. Jason knows he's not blocked.
Widmer delays for just a second, waits until Clay Shiver, the center, commits to the defensive tackle to his left and fills the void.
3rd and a short 2. Smith back in the game, not for just the 1 play. Garrett on a short roll throws, and it is not caught by Ernie Mills.
Boy, and that's called sitting on a pattern. Conrad Hamilton might as well have been in the huddle with the Cowboys. He was all over that.
Well, the problem with that design of the play was into the short side of the field. Actually, he gets hit. Mills gets hit before the ball actually even arrives. So, you know, kind of like both sides have gotten away with one now. Deion Sanders and now Conrad Ham.
He was definitely there a half a beat early.
Toby going to punt. Amani Toomer back to accept it. Toomer calls for a fair catch, and it's a 43-yard boot, and the Giants will take over at the 30-yard line. A marker comes down, and it is back near the line of scrimmage.
It was at the 35, and the official picked it up and walked it up to the 50.
And it's a personal foul against the Giants.
Well, again, the question now is this before or after the kick?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 86. After the kick was over, 15 yards, first down.
That's the Penn State rookie, Joe Juravicius. With 4:57 left in the opening quarter, the Giants now back at the 16-yard line. No score. 8-day Saturday college football right here on ABC. 4:57 to go in the opening period with no score, and Danny Cannell begins this drive from the 16 with a deep drop. A flag is thrown. Tiki Barber makes the catch and picks up for the moment a temporary and probably momentary first down.
It's probably going to be holding, it looks like, on Scott Gregg, I think.
Well, when you throw a screen pass to that side, it is the offensive tackle's responsibility to get that defensive ends, the defensive end's hands down. You try to cut him, you try to get into his body, get his arms out of the throwing lane. I think Bragg went to an extreme to try to do that.
On the offense, number 74, half the distance, still first down.
Everything you're thinking about is I must get his hands down. Cannell's got to throw the ball over. Now there's Bragg on the ground. Oh, you see him reach out and actually swipe the legs out from underneath Kavika Pittman.
It makes it first down and 18 from the 8-yard line, and Charles Way goes nowhere. And again, we have not seen to this point Tyrone Wheatley. The Giants, it's been referred to there is Wheatley as running back by committee with Way and Barber. And tonight we'll see Wheatley, and Gary Brown is the guy who is active but doesn't figure to see any action.
I wouldn't think that we would see Wheatley down here this part of the field just because he hasn't played, and the thought of a fumble down in this part of the field right here is probably going through the mind of Coach Fossil.
Tyrone is ready. Second down and 16 from the 10. Pressure. And then it is caught, and it is Ike Hilliard who pulls it in at the 23-yard line. Hilliard hurt early last season, a guy they love. Top draft pick, Ike Hilliard out of Florida, and he is, if they have a big play guy, here's your man.
Well, when Ike Hilliard was first hurt last year, a lot of people wondered if maybe it was a career-ending injury, and what a splendid wide receiver this young man is developing into, and especially after he catches the ball. Boy, is he dangerous once he's got the ball under his arm.
Third down and 3 from the 23. Cannell fires over the middle into traffic and threads it into Chris Callaway for a first down.
All right, we finally got a first down going.
Well, they were 0 for 2, Boomer, prior to that, which made them, by the way, on the year 3 of 28. This makes them 4 of 29.
What's nice about this throw, it's right into the body of Callaway. It doesn't give the safety a chance to come up and make a play on him.
And they were able to overcome a penalty deep in their own territory. That's big.
Out to the 37.
This is a lot of pointing going on out there. That's because the center wants to know who he needs to block.
Giants utilizing the shotgun. Here come the Cowboys. He gets it off to Tiki Barber, and Barber gets thrown out of bounds up at the 42-yard line.
The poise that Danny Cannell is showing, handling the line of scrimmage, handling the blitzes. This time he gets it to Tiki Barber. Tiki's the type of player, guys, if you get him the ball out in space, he'll make the first guy miss.
Danny Cannell, son of a doctor. In fact, his father, as you look at his record in 12 NFL starts, his father is one of the Miami Dolphin team doctors. And on second down, it is incomplete. He tried to get it into Ike Hilliard. Darren Woodson with the coverage. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Monday Night Football from the Meadowlands being brought to you by Jeep, makers of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, Cherokee, and Wrangler. Miller Lite reminds you to enjoy Miller Lite with friends. By Claritin and by AT&T, it is all within your reach. High above Manhattan, 8 miles out yonder. 3rd down and 4 from the 42. And under pressure, and it's Omar Stoutmire on the safety blitz who gets him.
Danny that time probably thought that Stoutmire was picked up. There was a little confusion on the offensive line play. One guy should not be able to get back there scot-free like that. They're only bringing 3 to one side, and you can see the left guard, Greg Bishop, try to make a play to get back to knock Stoutmire off his feet.
Brad Maynard to kick. Deion Sanders back to receive. Not much distance, a high floater, but it takes a big time New York bounce, and then Sanders grabs it.
That's smart.
15.
Play.
It was, yeah. Otherwise, that baby's going to be downed inside the 10.
That's the only guy that has the guts enough to do that in this league right there.
That's taking one for the team. That ball could have ended up back by the goal line.
Heady move by Deion. 1:39 left in the quarter. Dallas nothing. The Giants nothing. Since the merger in '70, leading all divisions and playoff teams, Super Bowl teams, and Super Bowl winners. But as you can see in the second bit of information, last year a bad out of division record, and this year, as you see at the bottom, this division, when it plays outside the NFC East, 0-7.
Talk about that was then and this is now.
Right from the 16-yard line, Jason Garrett going for Irvin, and Michael finds an opening at the 34 and pulls it in.
What a terrific catch by Michael Irvin. He knows he's going to get it in the back, and he hangs on to the football. Actually, Michael Irvin and Jason Garrett are pretty close. They like each other a lot. He has a lot of confidence in Jason that he can throw this ball to him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Irvin went to Jason this week in practice and said, hey man, just find me, I'll make the plays for you.
Michael against the Giants in his career, 16 games and now over 1,000 yards, but only 4 touchdowns. 19-yard pickup there at the 35. Garrett goes the other way, and that is juggled and nearly intercepted. Carlton Gray nearly had a pickoff and a touchdown as Billy Davis juggled it. Gray, one of the new Giants, waived by Indianapolis.
Well, that was a fine throw by Jason Garrett. He put it right on the shoulder of Billy Davis. Davis makes his little hook right there and stops, and the ball is right there. That's just right through his hands.
You have to catch it with your hands, not with your forearms. Look at this. He tries to go up and catch it with his forearms. Just extend your hands, make the play, and pull it into you. Billy Davis has got to make that play, especially on the road against the Giants.
Second down and 10 from the 35. Garrett going deep again, and he underthrows it and adjusting on it, but not able to make the catches. Ernie Mills, who looks for a flag but doesn't find one. Conrad Hamilton with a coverage.
Both of these quarterbacks have taken enormous hits. Jason Garrett, right as he's releasing the ball, takes a wallop and gets knocked down, and it causes the ball to be underthrown. A lot of times receivers would be taught to slow down just like this and allow the defensive back to run up into the back of you, and they will call pass interference most times.
Well, certainly Hamilton makes contact with Mills before the ball gets there, but again, it's that nanosecond close enough that it didn't draw the flag.
A nanosecond?
Third down, 10, Emmitt Smith on a screen, cuts it back, but is tackled well short of the first down at the 42 by Sean Williams, their #1 draft choice out of UCLA. Cowboys to punt.
This might not be a game that's going to have a lot of points, but it's going to be field position back and forth until somebody makes a mistake on special teams.
John Fox, the defensive coordinator of the Giants, gives his guys a double thumbs up. Well, right now, wouldn't you say, Boomer, we're looking at a game where the two quarterbacks are being asked not to lose a ball game?
I would definitely agree with that.
Toby Goen punting.
Good job, gentlemen. Good.
And it bounces at the 2. There's a flag down, however, back at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal man downfield. I think if you were the Giants, you're going to decline this penalty.
Yep, you're going to get it at the 20 as it is.
And eligible downfield early on the kicking team. Number 86. Penalties decline. First down.
Both defenses are coming like a bunch of nanoseconds. They're coming from everywhere. They're blitzing tonight like crazy.
Giants have Greg Camilla in the backfield along with Way, and Charles Way will end the first quarter with a nice run up to the 31 and a first down. And that is the end of the first quarter with the score, Dallas nothing and the Giants nothing. Monday Night Football back after this message and the words from our ABC. Deion Sanders, who has seen a little bit of offensive action tonight. One play is a wide out, in with his defensive unit now. Ball at the 31-yard line. Danny Cannell leading the Giants as we start the second quarter with no score. Little toss to Tiki Barber, and he picks up about a yard. And, you know, guys, we looked at the NFC East, and I talked at the top about the fact that this game, I think, is particularly important because there's a very good chance that only one team out of this division goes to the playoffs. And this is the kind of division you could win with a 9-7 record.
You have to win your home games. That's the most important thing. And if you're the Cowboys, if you can get a win here, that would be great for you. You got to remember that this thing's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Well, the one thing the New York Giants feel, they own this division. What are they now? They're like 8-0-1, their recent run in this division. So they view themselves as they are the team to beat. It's our division until we lose it.
Jim Fossil took over last year. He is undefeated against the NFC East with a play clock down to 1 on second down and 9, and Cannell under pressure, and down he goes. Randall Godfrey put the pressure on, and Dexter Coakley finished him off.
Not only did Randall Godfrey put the pressure on, he ran over Ron Stone, the right guard of the Giants. I mean, a linebacker can't do that to a guard.
Well, Boomer, as we know this week, Jim Fossil went crazy on his offensive line for their performance last week in Oakland.
Whoa.
He really felt that they were going to turn in a good performance tonight, and they are not off to a very good start.
I will tell you, I'm impressed with the Cowboy defense tonight. I mean, they're coming, they're bringing it.
Third down and 17 from the 24-yard line. That'll cost them 5 more. It'll be third down and 22. Dave Campo on the right, one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, but lived a nightmare last week.
Oh. When you consider what Denver did to their they had touchdown drives in that first half of 59, 84, and 80, 80, and 80 yards.
I will tell you that when I was playing, I always hated to play a team that just came off of getting blown out.
Yep.
I mean, because they came back the next week with a vengeance.
But, you know, look at the way Fossil challenged this Giant offensive team after last week. I don't see a lot of vengeance.
Third and 22. The throw is underneath, and it's caught for a next-to-nothing gain by Tiki Barber, tackled by Randall Godfrey. Crowd hates the play call.
Boomer, your point is really well made. I hate to play a team like that too, but what we're seeing right now, one of these units is responding and one of them isn't, and the responding unit is Dallas's defense.
Well, I would say the same for the Giant defense.
Yep.
I mean, the Giant defense is doing it as well. You got to give credit where it's due, but both offenses have to get on track. They have to get moving.
Well, the Giants defense has been doing it for quite a while.
Maynard with his 4th punt of the game, and it's a wobbly duck caught on a line by Sanders. Deion back when he started, and then turns the corner into Giant territory, and leave it to Deion to break it open for a touchdown. What a run!
Oh, man. drive of a punt, guys. Doesn't give the guys a chance to get down the field and make a tackle.
Some things can't be taught, and that's one of them.
And it's the kind of run where you look around and you're sure there's going to be a flag, and there isn't.
Joe Avezzano, the Cowboys special teams coach, I'm sure is not saying that's just the way I drew it up.
Boy, I'd like to have him on my special teams if I was the coach.
Dion found the picket fence all the way to the far sidelines. And when he gets a step on anybody, he will not and cannot be caught.
Big block by Izell Reese on the play, and then by Sherman Williams as Richie Cunningham, who hasn't missed an extra point or a field goal in his early season action, boosts it through. And with 12:31 left in the first half, Joe Avezzano looking on along with all of us. What a run back. 7-0.
Joe's going, am I good or what?
Deion Sanders getting a breather, has made it 7-0 with a spectacular return.
Three things lead to this. One, a great punt returner. Two, a lousy punt down the middle of the field. And three, missed tackles.
He picked up a nice block on the corner there from Kevin Smith, the other starting corner for Dallas.
And here is Tyrone Wheatley, his first action of the season, and he runs back the kickoff up to the 24-yard line. Here's a reminder, brand new on ABC, Sports Night on ABC.
I can't help but think about that punt. You know, in the league, a lot of the special teams coaches talk about kicking the ball to the sideline, constricting the field. Do not kick it down the middle of the field, especially to a player as dangerous as Deion.
From the 23, Tiki Barber gets upended and loses the football, but out of bounds. Kevin Mathis with the tackle. Leslie Visser.
Al, just a quick note before the game, Danny Cannell told me that when he was recruited by Florida State, none other than Deion Sanders was his host, and he said he was going to be really careful in throwing against him tonight, but obviously didn't plan on special teams. Al.
Should have talked to him. Yeah, right. He should have talked to Maynard.
Ay, ay, ay.
2nd down and 3 from the 30-yard line. Early second quarter. Cowboys up 7-0, and Charles Way gets taken down by Artie Smith. Deion Sanders, a guy who can score in so many ways. That is his 15th return touchdown. He's run back 7 interceptions, 4 punts, 3 kickoffs, and a fumble. So he has scored 4 different ways defensively, and offensively he has caught 3 touchdown passes.
He is a tremendous athlete, a guy that can go at any moment.
3rd down and 3. And this is Cannell throwing, and it's caught by Way, but a curious call, to say the least, on 3rd down as Woodson is right there to stop him, and the Giants are forced to punt for a 5th time. But Sanders was not in defensively there. He was on the sideline, exhausted from his run back.
He's still on all fours, Al, down on the Dallas sideline while the Cowboys staff is attending to Deion Sanders. There he is, and he is not well, to say the least. I think he had an upset stomach and was you can guess what he was doing, but that's unusual for such a highly conditioned athlete like Deion Sanders at this stage, this early stage of a ball game, to still be down. And now he's rolled over on his side, and this is not looking great for Deion Sanders.
Or was today the first day of fall?
The autumnal equinox.
We've been so immersed.
We're within 24 hours of it either way.
One way or another. 4th down and 3, and Maynard with his 5th punt, and Mathis calls for a fair catch, despite the fact there wasn't a Giant within a burrow of him. Mathis pulls it into the 24. The nearest Giant was in the Bronx, but Mathis just played it safe. 10:42 left in the half. He's still trying to recuperate from that punt return. Was sick along the sidelines, and now he's underneath the fan. And Flozell Adams is in the game as a third tight end. Number 76 as they go to their jumbo formation from the 25-yard line and give it to Emmitt Smith running to that side. And Emmitt keeps churning those legs and takes it up to the 30 for a gain of 5. Coming up next week on ESPN Sunday Night Football, the Cincinnati Bengals go to Baltimore. A look at the Ravens' new lair, and then we go to the Silverdome. The Lions are trying to get healthy. Barry Sanders and the Lions hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who make their first appearance on Monday Night Football next week since the early 80s.
84, I think, Al.
Way back. Chan Gailey making his first appearance on Monday night as a head coach. His team with the ball and a 7-0 lead from the 30-yard line. Garrett has his pass knocked down, trying to throw it over the middle, and it looked like Robert Harris was the man who got a hand on it.
This is one of the problems that you incur when you have a shorter quarterback than you're used to. This defensive lineman can't get back there. They'll put their hands up. Shorter quarterbacks have to try to find throwing lanes, and they have to get rid of the ball quickly. And you can see right here, as Jason's getting ready to throw it, Hamilton jumps up. They're taught to do that. It's a nice play by Keith Hamilton that time.
3rd down 5 from the 30-yard line as Troy Aikman with the fractured left collarbone looks on. Garrett from the gun throws and incomplete. Had enough yardage for the first down. Mills went down to get it, covered by Sparks on the low throw.
That's a tough catch, but you know, when you're playing out there with your backup quarterback, your receivers have to make plays. And Jason wants to throw the ball low. He does not want to throw an interception in this spot. He knows he wants to be careful. It's not an easy catch, but it hits him in the chest. He's got to make those plays, and the Cowboys have been looking for that other receiver and still haven't found one.
Still looked like, Boomer, that ball hit him right between the 8 and the 5.
Oh, it did.
Going to punt. His 4th punt. 47-yard boot. Amani Toomer avoids the first Cowboy and brings it back up to the 33-yard line. So the teams have combined for 9 possessions tonight, and we've had 9 punts. The only scoring, Dion on the punt run, punted 5 times. The Dallas Cowboys have had the ball 4 times, and they have punted 4 times. But what you have missed is one of the great run backs you'll ever see. On a punt return, Deion Sanders, 60 yards for a touchdown. It's 7-zip. The Giants, as you see, the last offensive players in the Pro Bowl several years ago, and Cannell throws incomplete, threw it out of bounds.
I will tell you right now that the Cowboys are smothering the offense of the Giants. The receivers can't get open. That time Danny was looking back to Ike Hilliard, could not find an opening. Did the smart thing, threw the ball away. Now, it's frustrating for a quarterback because he's been hit so many times already early in the game, and his receivers aren't getting open.
2nd down 10 up at the 33-yard line. Good protection this time, but then the pass is thrown incomplete through the hands of Howard Cross, covered by Kenny Wheaton. Howard Cross, the oldest Giant, mentioned that earlier, at the age of 31. The Giants are a very young team.
And that ball behind Cross, Boomer, it's easy to say that wasn't a very good throw by Cannell, but maybe Cross wasn't, maybe he didn't sit down where he should have.
I don't think it was a pretty good throw that time, but you know, Danny's been hit so much that he's trying to rush things a little bit now. It's hard to calm a guy down when they're in this situation.
3rd and 10 and a whistle before the snap.
We're going to have movement on number 72, Roman Oben, I believe, the left tackle.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 72, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Jim Fossil is going to have a meltdown. He went absolutely wild last week when his team committed 15 penalties. The closest guy to us there, number 72. Yep, you saw Oben just lean back a little bit prior to the snap. They had 15 penalties last week, and they are off on a pace that's going to come somewhere close to that. They've already had half a dozen.
Do we have a 7th?
In this case, 7 is not lucky.
7 is crapped out.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 72, 5 yards, still third down.
Well,
in case you missed the first penalty.
yes. Here from a little different angle.
Looks like both of them.
Yeah. Bishop went with him, the left guard, but
Boy, I don't want to be in this locker room at halftime right now if I'm an offensive player for the Giants.
Roman right now struggling.
3rd and 20, and Cannell throws, and this almost intercepted up at the 40-yard line. Great coverage, Dexter Coakley. And so we have played 20 minutes, 38 seconds, and this will be the 10th punt of the game.
Oh. Amazing thing is Maynard had the 2nd most punts in the league in league history last year, and the Giants still went to the playoffs. Good defense, solid special teams, obviously.
Brad Maynard's 6th punt of the night. This is a good one. And with Sanders still on the bench, it is dropped by Mathis at the 21, and he gets taken down at the 18. Not quite a Dion imitation. But Dion up and moving around with 9:10 to go in the half. 7-zip Cowboys. 56 yards, and the Giants with 74 and a big time of possession advantage, but it's been all Dion and the punters. Flozell Adams in the game now again for the Dallas Cowboys, using Flozell, who is a tackle a lot in 3 tight end sets.
They're going at the 2 outside linebackers of the Giants. Jesse Armstead with the bad ankle, and Ryan Phillips subbing for Buckley.
Emmett Smith. Well, this is not the type of figure that will keep people glued to their sets, but in the interest of good journalism,
go for it, Al.
We're on a pace right now. We'd have about 28 punts in the game if they kept this up. The NFL record for most punts in a game is 17. So we're well past the halfway mark.
17 is the record.
It's by one team.
Oh.
And the record for both teams is 31. 2nd down and 5 from the 24-yard line. Sherman Williams up to the 28-yard line. The Bears punted 17 times, and Cincinnati punted 17 times pre-Boomer.
I wasn't there for that
this
one.
was 1933, in fact. Those were the Cincinnati Reds.
I put on some awful offenses, but
Were you there? Were you there, Al?
Al might have been there.
No, I was not there, but Joe Nuxhall probably was.
I thought you used to do the Reds.
I did, yes. Not that many moons ago. 3rd and 1, and Garrett looks around and takes a timeout here.
Dallas, it's a second team timeout, 30-second timeout.
That's the 2nd Dallas timeout. They had to take their other one when Dion couldn't come out to return a punt. And they're down to their last one. A reminder from executive producer.
I mean, they're just trying to find plays. They're going to open things up. And really, I mean, Dallas sometimes is really keeping 9 guys in around the football, and it's forcing the Giants to keep 9 guys in. It's not a pretty sight. But I wouldn't doubt that they go after maybe a play action and a deep post pattern sooner or later to try to open something up. And conversely for the Giants, I mean, they're going to be thinking, what do we have to do to get somebody open?
Well, one thing about the Cowboys lately, Boomer, they've been working Billy Davis. They've been working Ernie Mills. Not a whole lot, though, to the big man, Michael Irvin.
After the timeout, 3rd and a long one. And Garrett's going to go to the air and has it knocked down. Michael Strahan. What a year he's had in his first 2 games with 4 sacks and an interception run back for a touchdown.
This guy is the heart and soul of the Giant defense. He is their leader. He has really come into his own the last 2 years. A smart player, but gifted and athletic. And you can see right here, I'm surprised he didn't intercept that ball, guys. We saw against Washington, he made a play just like that, and he took it in for 6.
And thus the 11th punt of the game off the foot of Toby Goen, with Amani Toomer back to receive it. deep kick, and it backs Toomer up to the 18. And he slices through 2 Cowboys and takes it back to the 27-yard line. And Deion still on the bench. And the last time we saw Deion, he was going across the end zone and celebrating, and we haven't seen him since.
If I'm the Giants right now, I know that Deion's on the bench. I have to go after his replacement. Kevin Mathis has been around, but you have to go after him. Put Ike Hilliard on him, make some plays, throw the ball downfield, and try to create something. The offense of the Giants should be in a much better situation tonight as opposed to the Cowboys, and they're not taking advantage of it.
From the 26-yard line, Cannell throws, and it's incomplete. Covered by Kevin Smith. Leslie Visser.
Al, you mentioned before that Danny Cannell's father is the orthopedic surgeon for the Dolphins. Well, growing up there, Danny was also a great high school baseball player, and ironically, his coach was none other than Dodger great and Yankee great Tommy John. Tommy told me Danny had a good curve, good fastball, and Danny told me before the game his proudest moment was striking out Alex Rodriguez. Al?
Thank you, Leslie. As Charles Way takes it up to the 28-yard line. Tommy John, one of 5 pitchers in the history of baseball.
That's right.
To have faced both Roger Maris and Mark McGwire, and I'm proud to announce that I think Dan got the other 4.
It's a wonderful.
Wait a minute.
It's a wonderful trivia question. Just think about that. 5 pitchers faced both of those guys. Maris retired in '68. McGwire was a rookie in '86. So that's an 18-year span there. 5 guys had an official pitching appearance against both of those men.
Only one guy pitched to Sosa, McGwire, and Maris, though.
On 3rd down, it is caught up at the 41-yard line by Callaway for a first down. So they convert on a 3rd and 9 and move the chains.
This is probably about the 11th time so far tonight that Danny Cannell gets hit. These are the type of plays that you need to kind of get a little release going. They've been grinding offensively. He's trying to find people open. This time he stands in the pocket, stands tall, and he knows he's going to get hit right here. Boom! The offensive line, again, a miscommunication picking up that blitz.
From the 41-yard line. That is caught by Hilliard, and Ike is taken out of bounds very close to a first down, and Deion's going back to the locker room.
Well, the word from the Cowboy bench is that he's dehydrated, and if that's the case, one of the things that gets you well in a hurry is to hook him up to an IV and take in a couple bags of fluid very quickly.
All right, if I'm the Giants now, I have 2 plays in succession that have gotten me some yards, got some excitement, a little momentum. And here comes Tyrone Wheatley in the game, so we'll see if they have a special play designed just for him.
At the 49, under 6 minutes to go in the half, 7-0 Dallas. Wheatley behind Way. Taken down after a short gain by Kevin Mathis. By the way, we won't leave you hanging on the answer to that. We'll build a graphic for you, and we'll get those pictures. The 5 guys who have faced Maris and McGwire, and the 1 guy who's faced Maris, McGwire, and Sosa. But we'll give you a little time to think about it.
Yeah, with all these punts, we can't give it to you right away.
We're still working on punt graphics right now.
We need to nurse this as long as we can.
Giants for the first time in Dallas territory. On 2nd down and 9. And Cannell hits Way, and Way is picked up right there by Kevin Smith, who stops his momentum, and then Godfrey finishes him off. It'll be 3rd and long.
Well, here we come into an obvious passing situation, and this is where all game long the Giants have shown an inability to give Danny Cannell much of a look at the field without either being hurried or being hit or both.
And you know, something else is that the Cowboys have blitzed in this situation most of tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again.
3rd down and 8. Danny Cannell,
and here he comes,
averaging a little bit more than 4 yards per pass. They showed blitz and then backed off, and Cannell takes off, seeks the first down. A flag comes in from the secondary. He's shy of the first down by 2 yards.
Well, there was a helmet-to-helmet blow there on Cannell, and you could hear that click all the way up here in the booth.
The penalty was away from the play, though, for a hold against Dallas and an automatic first down.
Well, that's one way to get a third down conversion.
Tell you right now, I'd like to see a ball into the end zone. Maybe Amani Toomer down the sideline.
Number 23, 5 yards, first down.
Deion's replacement, Kevin Mathis.
Here's Danny Cannell going head first, trying to pick up, and there is that helmet to helmet. You could hear that plastic on plastic. Watch from the right of your screen. Bang, right there. Danny Cannell's head is driven down onto his chest. Kenny Wheaton, the Dallas safety, is the guy that makes that hit, and when you can hear it that far away, that click, that hurts.
Little trick play, and this is Amani Toomer who throws, and it's incomplete. Amani almost ran out of room before he got it off.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that play. Heck, I want to try something, do anything to really loosen things up a little bit. But, you know, Amani's a big guy. I'd be trying to put him on Mathis a little bit and try to throw the ball up and let him use his size. Jim was telling us yesterday, Jim Fossil was telling us yesterday that out of all the players that he has had in the last 2 years, the guy that's made the quantum leap to really become a true professional has been Amani Toomer.
Trying to make the leap to professional quarterback.
Trying to hit Hilliard. 2nd and 10. Faking the draw. Going deep. And he is able to thread the needle for the touchdown to Toomer.
All right. Thank you very much.
Puma calls Tuma.
That's right. All right. We have a little offense. There's something to be excited about.
And no punt.
What do you think about that, Al? There goes your punt record.
Well, not yet. But that's the excitement that this crowd was waiting for as the throaty New York, New Jersey audience salutes Amani Toomer. And what a throw by Cannell, right on the money.
And they don't go against Deion's replacement. They go at Kevin Smith, one of the better cornerbacks in the league, and a perfectly thrown, and important here, Boomer, deep ball by Danny Cannell.
Now Wiesel for the point after. That was Toomer's first catch of the night. And with 3:54 to go in the half, the Giants along the way converting a couple of third downs, one albeit via penalty, but Cannell makes it pay off.
Well, it's a huge holding call against the Dallas Cowboys because Cannell's run for a first down came up short, and that gave them an opportunity to sustain this drive and get the touchdown.
You know, when I had Jim Fossil as an offensive coordinator in Arizona, we did this all the time. And he has receivers that can go after the football. And it's time to really let Danny Cannell become the player that they think he can be. When you have receivers like Toomer, you have receivers like Hilliard and Callaway, you could take chances.
Well, Boomer, you were telling us earlier about how surprised you are to see Jim Fossil call the offense now for the Giants because of how aggressive he was as an offensive coordinator. I mean, does a guy change that much when he moves to the corner office?
When you become the head coach, you have to take into the big picture of things. And, you know, if he can get Amani Toomer, if he can get guys like Tyrone Wheatley to play to their ability, then he'll take chances with them. And, you know, the success here in the Meadowlands is they've only had 2 quarterbacks throw for 300 yards or more in the 90s, and that's Hostetler and Sims. So you know that this is a team that doesn't have a history of throwing the ball well.
Tonight, 124 yards for Cannell.
And they only did it once each, didn't they?
That's right, exactly.
Well, this is a typical NFC East affair. 7-7, not very pretty, not very fancy, a real duke-out between these two.
And it would figure in a game with so many punts, though, you had 2 spectacular plays accounting for the 14 points.
Well, I'll tell you, the Giants have an opportunity to do some things on offense. They have some personnel to do it. If they can protect the quarterback and let Jim just start calling those plays like he did when he was an offensive coordinator, they'll be fine.
Right now, their defensive unit goes to work on Garrett, and the Cowboy offense first down from the 20-yard line. Crowd really into it. 3:48. Giants show blitz. Cowboys keep it on the ground. A nice initial move by Smith, but a real swarming defense by the Giants, and Tito Wooten knocks him down.
Give Tito credit on that play. He actually was blitzing and overran the play and then came back and pursued. One of the things about a John Fox defense is that they will run after the football. He demands that. He's a terrific defensive coach, and his players love playing for him. You see Tito coming back and making the play from behind.
And Emmitt Smith comes over to the sideline.
That means Sherman Williams is the I-back. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. Williams stays in the block. The pass is too long, intended for Billy Davis, who's covered by Conrad Hamilton.
Al, you talked at the top of the show about Emmitt Smith has to be the guy that steps up in Troy Aikman's absence, and the Giants are doing a very effective job of taking Emmitt out of this ball game. He's run the ball 7 times for 21 yards. 3 yards a carry is not anywhere near what Emmitt Smith. It's not the Emmitt Smith in the Dallas rushing attack we're used to seeing.
Yeah, but what you consider when you pack in 8 or 9 guys around the line of scrimmage, very difficult to run in there.
3rd down and 10 from the 20.
But sometimes, Boomer, you still have to do it.
Out of the shotgun. And that's caught at the 37 by Billy Davis, and the Giants overrun him. And Davis off to the races. Touchdown.
Well, a wonderful open field tackle by the Giants secondary. Unfortunately, it was of each other.
All right, both quarterbacks woke up. Both offenses woke up. That time, Jason stood in the pocket. He knew he was going to get hit as he threw the football and delivered it right on the money. Again, this is one of the things that Changeli said. He knows the offense. He's accurate, and he can put it where he needs to put it.
And what Tito Wooten was doing on that play, I have no clue. He's the safety sitting in the hole. The post is coming right at him, and he almost jumps out of the way of Billy Davis.
Richie Cunningham for the point after. Billy Davis is in his 4th year in the National Football League. Prior to tonight, he had never had a reception longer than 20 yards. He quadrupled it on one play. 80 yards on 3rd and 10.
There's Tito Wooten. He misses the tackle, doesn't even touch Davis, and cleans off the other 2 members of his own secondary. Not exactly the way you want your safety to play deep middle.
Really what it comes down to is you can see Jason standing in there. He gets hit as he throws the football down to pass protection. Quarterbacks need a little comfort zone to get themselves into. Both Danny and Jason felt that on those series, and both delivered balls right on the money. You look at, he's looking back for flags. Are there any flags out there?
Well, what do you think of that?
Can't believe his eyes. 14-7 Dallas. So the 3 touchdowns in this punt-filled and relatively conservative game have been 59 yards on a punt return and 36 and 80 yards on pass plays. Toby Goins kickoff. Not a thing of beauty, but it sure does work as it works its way across the goal line for the touchback. 2:39 remaining in the half. Let's check in with Chris Berman.
All right, Al, thank you. Coming up in our Lexus halftime show, our top 10 plays of the week, including some national history.
He will be. .239 remaining in the first half. Jason Sehorn, we mentioned at the top, if not the best Giants defender in the top 3, gone for the year with knee surgery and reduced to a spectator tonight and for the balance of the year. Tiki Barber picks up 3.
Un-Giant-like, however, they go out and sign a free agent, Carlton Gray, to try to help out. And you see the Giants have been more aggressive in free agency, and if you're a fan, you gotta love that.
Un-Giant-like?
Yeah, the Giants really don't sign a lot of free agents. Big name ones, anyway.
And Cannell throws. Good coverage on the play, and it's Kevin Mathis playing it perfectly, playing it like a receiver, and picking it off. And that's Dallas's first interception of the season. And give Omar Stoudemire some credit on the safety blitz to force the issue.
See right here, Patton against Mathis. Mathis stays on top of him. But Patton cannot allow Mathis to catch that ball. That's where the receiver has to become a defender. And you can, doesn't matter what you do, just go ahead and go after him and pull him down. Do not let him catch that football.
But just one more opportunity, as Al mentioned, on the Stoudemire blitz of Danny Cannell not getting an opportunity to properly throw the football. He's got to throw it falling backwards. Pretty hard to put much in the way of touch on the ball, Boomer.
And you know he's angry right there. He's frustrated. He wants to look at his receiver. So why didn't you just pull him down? Don't let him catch it.
First down at the 46. The Cowboys have one timeout and the 2-minute stoppage. Sherman Williams is in the backfield. Garrett, short drop, short pass, caught by Michael Irvin, takes it to the 50. They still work on Emmitt Smith. So the Cowboys, for the moment anyway, Son Smith and Deion Sanders. But at the 2-minute warning in the first half, it is Dallas 14, New York 7. Helicopter footage being provided tonight by Southwest Airlines, high above Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Look at that guy. That's Bronco Nagurski.
Jim Cabbage.
That's beautiful right there, boy.
That's a
He's wearing number 7 too.
That looks like an authentic old helmet.
Does. Second down and 6 with 2 minutes remaining, and Garrett going deep, but a little too deep for Michael Irvin, who'd gotten behind Sparks but couldn't haul it in.
Just a little bit higher, and Michael would have been able to run underneath that football. He did a nice job of getting around Felipe Sparks that time. And if he throws it just a little bit higher, Michael will have a chance to get underneath it.
When you say that's the case, since the first day of training camp, Troy Aikman has thrown that pass to Michael Irvin 100 times. Jason Garrett has probably thrown it a half a dozen.
Exactly, and all those half a dozen coming this week.
Yeah.
Third down and 6. Emmitt Smith still out of the game. Sherman Williams is in the backfield. And the Cowboys having trouble with the formation.
Well, I think that's delay a game. They didn't get the snap off. They could have called Michael Irvin for faking the snap.
On the offense, 5 yards, still third down.
Michael Irvin made a move towards the line of scrimmage. You're not allowed to do that. He got away with that, but it doesn't matter because they get the 5-yard penalty anyway for delay a game.
Really looked like to me as Jason held a snap because he sensed that the Giants are blitzing.
Watch Michael right there. You're not allowed to do that. That should have drawn a whistle right there.
Third and 11 now. 1:53 left in the half. The Cowboys have one timeout.
No picks, no interceptions.
They put pressure on Garrett, who throws, and Michael Irvin and Sparks, and a flag goes down. At the 36-yard line, they drop a flag.
They're going to call Sparks for interference, I believe.
Could be on.
Never doubt me, Boone.
All right, I'm not doubting you.
Interference on the defense. Number 22. First down.
You should. I doubt myself all the time.
I never doubt myself. So
Here comes right. Here's the contact. Right there, Sparks.
Yes.
Going out with the right arm, screening off Michael Irvin.
One would wonder, however, if that ball was catchable.
It's a 19-yard penalty, and it's a third down conversion. First down now at the 36. Sherman Williams to the 35-yard line. There is Emmitt Smith,
who was being looked at on the Cowboy bench by members of the medical staff. There's not any report from the Cowboys as to any ailment that's keeping Emmitt Smith out of the ball game, but Sherman Williams has replaced him.
Chris Warren would be the backup. They picked him up from Seattle, but with a groin pull, he's still injured and inactive tonight, and it's deflected and caught by Michael Irvin, tipped by Conrad Hamilton, and it's a first down to the 24.
Probably the best thing about Emmitt Smith being on the sideline for the Cowboys, it's allowing Jason Garrett to play the game. They don't have to worry about handing it to Emmitt now and protecting him. Just let him play. He can do it. Got a little lucky there, though.
1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Inside give to Williams. And the Cowboys playing this as if they'll be content to set up a Richie Cunningham field goal and take as much time off the clock to allow the Giants next to nothing when they get the ball. Right groin strain is the report now from the Dallas bench on Smith. Won't play the rest of the half, which right now has 23 ticks remaining. And Garrett throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Billy Davis.
They let a lot of time run off the clock there, Boomer. The Cowboys, I believe, have only one timeout left. Is that right? So they're trying to save it to be able to get their field goal team out onto the field to set up. But a lot of seconds burned off the clock in the interim.
I might have called a timeout there and really take a couple shots at the end zone. You got to feel pretty good about your kicking game. And Chan said that he's very happy with where they are right now in that situation. Let your quarterback take a couple shots to the end zone.
3rd down and 9 at the 23. But he can take only one shot here because it's 3rd down. And he takes that shot into the left corner, but then throws it out of bounds. Not even close. Billy Davis covered on the play.
Well, he went for the pump, trying to get the Giants secondary to respond to it. And when he saw it wasn't there, very wisely just dumped it out of bounds.
He's playing a solid, smart football game, Jason Garrett is, and this is exactly what they expected.
Richie Cunningham, 37 of 40 in his brief career. This is a 41-yarder. He has not missed a single field goal or extra point attempt this season, and he splits the uprights. Happy days in Dallas as Richie bangs it through with 7 seconds remaining in the opening half.
You know, I saw Jason Garrett in the tunnel right before the game, and I went over to him and talked to him. Hey, it was like he was ready to go play ball out in the backyard. You know, he was very poised. He was excited about playing.
Well, he's got the maturity, Boomer, that comes with being 32 years old.
And you can see, you know, this is what a veteran quarterback does. He goes to his wide receiver on the sideline, finds out what's going on, get a little, you know, going back and forth, a little communication going back and forth. And this is the man that you want to keep happy if you're a quarterback.
We promised you an update on the 5 pitchers who faced both Roger Maris and Mark McGuire. There is the one we mentioned earlier, Tommy John. We'll tantalize you with one before we go to halftime. Phil Niekro, number 2.
Which is
there are 5.
A good hint for number 3.
So come on, should we what now? Do we give 3 before halftime?
We have to.
Okay, the vote is to give you one more. And Joe Niekro.
All in the family.
2 to go.
So now you're going to try to hold people for the second half?
You betcha, baby.
Can't you?
This is what television is all about.
Plans are being changed all around America.
At the 24-yard line, Greg Camella brings it back up to the 36. So the first half will come to a conclusion with 1 second remaining. The Giants have one opportunity to sling it down the field if they so choose. And the Cowboys have a 10-point lead and a very frustrated Jim Fossil. Very angry last week. Pretty miserable performance in Oakland.
I bet he didn't see this coming out, the penalties and the sloppy play.
I've seen that face before. I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm not in the locker room.
We can get you down there.
No, I don't want to go down there.
He may want you down there.
No, he doesn't want me down there. I can guarantee that.
That is the end of the first half at Giants Stadium. Shane Gailey's Dallas Cowboys on top by a score of 17-7. Coming up, the Lexus halftime show. Chris Berman with ESPN's top 10 plays of the week. And back we come after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations.
Loose cannon in a soggy Arrowhead Stadium, scrambling and finding Andre Bad Moon Rising, 44-yard touchdown. Play 9, the catch of the day. Dave Moore of the Tampa Bay Bucks, 44-yard play from Trent Dilfer. Play 8, number 8, Cal Ripken. He threw a surprise party for everybody here in Baltimore when he said 2-6-3-2 would be enough. Play 7, our number 7, Boomer, starting his own Miss America streak. You think he misses the game? He's high-fiving the contestants. Play 6 for Ryan Lee. 5 total. Turnovers 4. Passing yards 3. Lost fumbles 2. Interceptions and 1 loss in KC.
Our 2 home run kings, Mike McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa was super. He ended the week with 63 home runs. As for Mark McGuire, was the Iron Mike, number 65 in his first at bat yesterday in Milwaukee. The only ones that can keep him in the park, the umpires. What looked like home run number 66 turned into be a fan interference ground rule double. Play 4, Brett Favre to Antonio Freeman. But what about this name for a defensive back? Sam Shade. Sam had it made in the shade for the Bengals. You think Dwayne Washington has this pick? No, Dan Marino, routine touchdown to Lamar Thomas.
I'll put you on my Christmas list there. How's that? You want a good Christmas card? But I'm telling you, man, you should hang out. We should go fishing together. I'm being polite and cordial.
The loquacious John Randall and the Vikings sacked the Lions well a batch. And play number 1, down 15-0 in their new home at the half. Warwick Dunn. Very Emerson Boozer-like. He could go all the way. 43-yard touchdown. The Bucks win it, and the Galleons cannon fire off as the Bucks beat the Bears. I gotta say, those cannons in the new sombrero look a little bit low if you're sitting in that row, don't they? Well done by Warwick. Well done by Cal. He's playing tonight. New streak of 1 for Cal Ripken. As for McGuire and Sosa, or whatever their names are, their teams are idle tonight. Coming up on the Lexus Halftime Show, Willie Nelson says, happy 29th.
Monday nights I cannot sleep, I just sit and watch TV. Now it's halftime with the Cowboys and the Giants. I got my honey, got my friends, kicking back and digging in. And there ain't nothing like my football Monday nights. Won't you reconsider this? You're the one thing that I miss. Won't you come back every week on Monday nights? I would be so happy then, I would love it till no end. And my Mondays won't have lonely, lonely nights. Monday nights I cannot sleep, I just sit and watch TV. It's still halftime with the Cowboys and the Giants. My team lose, don't make me laugh, we still got the second half. There ain't nothing like my football Monday night. And there ain't nothing like my football Monday night. And there ain't nothing like my football Monday night.
Thank you, Willie. Well, perhaps inspired by Willie Nelson, our halftime show on the road again. We're on the road at Giants Stadium after this time.
17-7 Cowboys, and Mathis sprints over to take it at the 4-yard line. And brings it back out to the 20-yard line. Tackled there by Jeremy Lincoln. Here's Leslie Visser.
At halftime, Jim Fossil told me he is extremely disgusted with the play of his offensive line. He said, we're blowing assignments, we're missing plays. Danny Cannell has 3 unblocked people coming at him on every play. As for Deion Sanders, assistant coach Mike Zimmer told me that Deion did take an IV at halftime. He expects him to play in the second half. As for Emmitt Smith, he came out, he stretched his groin. He still hasn't made up his mind yet whether or not he can go in the second half. And Al, ironically, that's the same injury that Chris Warren is coming off.
Right, and it's a good point. Warren, they think will play next week. Smith is not in the game. It is Sherman Williams. And Williams, who was Emmett's backup the last couple of years, but then they didn't sign him. He wasn't even in anybody else's camp. He was at home in Alabama. And then the call went out to Sherman, help us out. Here he is. Numbers for the first half.
You see the only points off turnovers belong to the Dallas Cowboys. Time of possession very much favoring the Giants. But big plays so far The punt return of Deion Sanders got this thing started for the Dallas Cowboys. And boy, you won't see a prettier punt return all year.
Second down and 7 from the 23-yard line. Pressure up the middle, and then the pass is dropped by Sherman Williams.
I'd say if he holds on to that ball, he might scoot out the backfield and make about 30 yards.
Well, you know, Boomer, when you set up a screen like that, you've got to give the quarterback, you've got to stop the defensive lineman's momentum. You've got to stamp him hard enough at the line of scrimmage where you can't have your quarterback so off balance as Garrett was there, falling backward. He still puts it right there.
He's got to make the play, Sherman does, and that time Jason does a nice job of baiting the defenders to him. But again, Sherman Williams has got to make that catch.
They spread out to the Cowboys on 3rd down and 7. And a little toss to Sherman Williams, and a beautiful open field tackle by Carlton Gray.
You saw big old Larry Allen coming at him, and he avoided him. I think Larry Allen thought that Sherman Williams was going to come outside. And sometimes as a running back, you have to set the block up. It's just as important as making a guy miss.
That's called a whiff.
The running back can help, though. The running back,
yes,
you know that if you're a pulling lineman, you want a little help from your running back to set the block up a little bit.
Larry Allen took the outside shoulder.
Toby going punting. Amani Toomer to run it back. Toomer hauls it into the 31 and brings it back to the 42-yard line. And Deion Sanders, who has not played since the run back, we don't see a flag, but the referees are conferring.
Well, anytime those guys have their hats off, there's something going on.
Against the Cowboys, the Giants will have the opportunity to decline it.
With this field position, I would guess that they would.
Charles Way looking over to the bench. Call will be made from there.
We have unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team, number 82. We went out of bounds, did not come back in. We first down.
That's Jeff Ogden.
Penalty is declined.
You go a long time without seeing that penalty. We saw it 2 weeks ago, and now we see it again. Once you go out of bounds, you got to try to get back in.
Defense put no pressure on John Elway. Tonight a different story. George T comes through, so does Stoudemire. Then the linebackers take over. And Danny spent a good part of the first half in like positions. And now on his first possession of the second half, Tyrone Wheatley on the active list for the first time this season picks up 5. Dave Campo's defense shredded last week, but a different story thus far tonight.
You see a lot of low numbers hitting Danny Cannell. Obviously that means safety or corner blitzes. So sometimes those do not fall in the responsibility of the lineman. Sometimes those are the running backs, or sometimes they're free and you have to get rid of the ball quickly.
2nd and 5 from the 47. Deion Sanders is in the game. And a gain of a couple up to the 50-yard line. Deion, who had not played since the spectacular 59-yard return, back in at the corner. 3rd down and 3 now upcoming.
It's the part of the field where, you know, Jim, when I knew Jim and I was playing with Jim, he always liked to go for it right off the bat. First down, go for the ball, throw the ball downfield. And now he's emptying the backfield and giving 5 wide receiver look to the Cowboys.
Foster, one of the few head coaches in the league who talks directly to his quarterback, and that is incomplete. Saw the blitz coming, got it away quickly, intended for Tiki Barber, and it's 4th down.
You want to know why they're not converting? It's because of plays just like this. Good execution by Danny Cannell. The blitz was picked up by the offensive lines, to give them credit. Tiki Barber has got to make this catch. You want to go to the playoffs, you want to go to the Super Bowl, your star players have to make easy plays like that. You cannot drop the ball in that situation.
You know, they drew that up. They worked on it every day during practice this week. Game time comes, you get exactly the same look you expect, and you don't get it done.
Maynard to kick. Rush was on. He angles it. And it bounces back in play and is down at the 18-yard line. But the Giants, meanwhile, as you look at Emmitt Smith, 2 for 10 on third. The Cowboys will begin this drive at the 18-yard line. Sherman Williams still in the game at tailback. Sherman with the ball. Up to the 20-yard line for a gain of 2. Jesse Armstead for the tackle, and he's had a pretty quiet night.
Well, he's been banged up. He's had an ankle problem the first couple weeks, and he's another guy that they need to get back to full strength. Their defense has played very well, but again, he's a superstar type of player in this league.
When you have a bad ankle, though, Boomer, it is hard to get back to 100% when you play every week. And Jesse Armstead is a warrior, but coming out just for warm-ups, he had a noticeable limp before the game even started tonight. He's trying, but it's not there.
On second down and 8. Garrett buys time with the fake, and then the pass is a little too wide for Eric Bjornsson. Bjornsson, the pass-catching tight end. They have LaFleur as the blocking tight end. Bjornsson, in fact, would be the emergency quarterback. With Aikman hurt, you've got Mike Quinn as the number 2 guy, and then Bjornsson, who was a QB at Washington, would be number 3, and Dion would be number 4. Dion comes in as a receiver.
Let's hope that we don't get to the point where Eric Bjornsson is the field general of the Cowboys.
Third down and 8.
That clock is running down.
Sanders, and they're going his way, but there's double coverage, and somehow Dion is able to beat the coverage. The pass is right there, and he takes it to the 25. Gray and Wooten right there had him in a vice.
And Carlton Gray, who's lined up right on top of Deion Sanders, even takes off running before the ball is snapped in an attempt to beat Deion downfield, and he still can't stay with it. Gray turns and runs, Boomer, at the snap of the ball. He's already started.
Oh, he knows how fast Deion is. The interesting thing here is that Jason just lets the ball out there, and Deion has such a knack for going to get the ball that the defensive backs don't even make a play for it.
Well, Tito Wooten had the deep middle again and let Sanders get behind him.
That's his first catch since the '96 season, and a flag goes down on the pass intended for LaFleur, covered by Sam Garnes.
That's going to definitely be interference on Sam Garnes that time.
Right now, mistakes are killing the Giants. Give Dallas credit for making some big plays, but New York is helping the cause.
Illegal contact on the defense, number 20. 5 yards, automatic first down.
I've got to believe when the Giants were looking at the Bronco film last week that they felt like, you know what, we can beat these guys and we can beat them soundly, especially with Troy not playing. But now that Emmitt has been out of the game, you know, Jason has really found his rhythm. You know, he's really sitting in there, and he's got a lot of poise, and these are the things that Chan said that he liked about him.
First and 10 from the 20-yard line. Back to Sherman Williams to the 17. Second down and 7. 10 minutes to go in the third.
Well, I think we solved the problem of what was in the IV that Deion got at halftime. Rocket fuel.
Yes. I'd like a little bit of that.
I wouldn't mind one of those IVs myself. You have to give Chan Gailey a lot of credit for inheriting this football team and in the situation that it was in, and what he's done with it, especially offensively. Even though they got blown out last week against Denver, he's brought a little bit of discipline to this team. I know Troy feels very comfortable with him.
And he came off a winless preseason. Williams shreds the defense. Touchdown, Dallas. Runs through Tito Wooten and runs into the end zone from 18.
Well, they go behind Nate Newton at left guard, Larry Allen at left tackle, and they just collapse that side of the Giant defense. Allen and Daryl Johnston don't even get really all that good of blocks. There's Newton with the collapse, but look at the hole. A lot of blown responsibilities there on the part of the Giants defense.
They actually caught the defensive line all slanting to the left, and Nate Newton just wiped them all down.
Richie Cunningham bangs it through, and so the Dallas Cowboys are now up on top by 17 points with 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. All without Aikman. Well, Jason Garrett getting his third career start tonight, and it helps when he can hand the ball off to Sherman Williams. And think about it. That looked like Aikman handing it to Emmett.
Well, if you're Tito Wooten, you don't go high on a running back. You have to hit him in the leg, and you have to attack him. Running backs in this league are too good. They'll run right through high arm tackles.
This is Amani Toomer taking the going kick at the 7-yard line and tackled by the ankles by George Teague. And a flag is down at the 29-yard line. And it's a hold against the Giants.
Holding on the return team, number 51, 10 yards, first down.
Emphasized by Larry McDuff's forlorn look. Monday Night Football is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Fidelity Investments, where 12 million investors put their trust. And Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride.
Yards.
Right.
They have a long uphill struggle, and Leon let Al. I hate to do the play-by-play, but whoa.
Whoa, Nelly.
This was not the way they practiced all week in New York on their offensive line.
Well, Leon's been shaken up, and he makes a great play here, but comes limping off at the end of it.
It would be nice to block him.
Whoa.
It would really be nice to try to block the big cat.
And the big cat right now is on the bench, and Hervin McCormick is back in. Second down and 19. Charles Way gives them a little bit of breathing room. It'll be third down and long upcoming.
You know, if you're a play caller, as Jim Fossil is right now, you're just really searching for something that's going to break it out for you. And you have to be careful down here. You're still in the ball game. You don't want to do anything stupid. And really, you still have to get back to your field position here. You have to be careful. You don't want to force something down the field. And he'll get him in the shotgun. He'll drop him back. But Danny has got to be careful because the Dallas defense is jacked right now. They're jacked up.
You saw Leon Lett being stretched out over on the Dallas sideline. Hopefully that's a cramp that they're just trying to work out.
Third and 14. Cannell, and that's an errant toss intended for Tiki Barber, who would have had a little bit of room to roam, but probably not enough for the first down.
This is really going to be hard for you guys to understand. I played in this stadium for 3 years. What the Giants are experiencing right now are the Meadowlands grind. It's very difficult when things are not going well for you in this stadium. You start aiming balls, things start happening to you, and the only way that you can turn the tide on this is to get on the sideline, have a meeting, scream and yell at each other a little bit, and let some of that frustration go.
The Meadowlands grind.
I'm telling you.
Brad Maynard. And that's out of bounds in New York territory at the 45. Right now the Cowboys are trying to grind them into submission. They have the ball on a 17-point lead.
He's got a hold of Leon by the side. Normally
when he's going to run away or something.
You don't know at this point in time if he's going in for x-rays or if he's going in for an IV of his own or what.
Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys.
And I talked to him before the game, and he felt really confident that his team was going to win. Well, he always feels that way, doesn't he?
I've never seen Jerry Jones when he wasn't confident.
First down at the 45-yard line. Going deep for Michael Irvin, and that confidence for Jerry Jones will build as Irvin has a first down at the 16-yard line.
The Dallas Cowboys from Jerry Jones on all the way down to the equipment manager, realize that every game won while Troy Aikman is on the mend is money in the bank, especially on the road against the defending NFC East champions. If the Cowboys go on and win this game, and they are certainly in control now, you can chalk this up to a monster win for the Cowboys. Doesn't change the whole season, but it's big.
Williams picks up 2. And Dan, this is going to be their toughest game until Aikman gets back, because they get Oakland at home as a skirmish breaks out. They get the Raiders at home next week. Then they go to Washington, a team that's 0-3. Then they get Carolina back in Texas. And then they go to Chicago.
And Troy Aikman is saying that the Carolina game is kind of his target. Chan Gailey a little more, a little more open-minded about maybe that's rushing things.
Right.
Second down and 8.
Yeah, there is a possibility that Jason Garrett might play. So there's a false start by Nate Newton at left guard. Maybe Garrett plays so well Troy can't get his job back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 61.
We'll talk
5 yards, still second down.
We'll talk about anything at this point in time.
Yes, we will. In fact,
I'll tell you that, if he couldn't, that would really help against the salary cap. And then they can go out and get some other free agents.
free up a lot.
You're always thinking. That's good. You're always thinking.
Good business decision. Yards this quarter. Well,
hey, Dallas, we talked about it earlier. Dallas's defense is still one of the top defenses in the league. And especially if you're going to play against an offense like the Giants that has not really got on track this season. So that's not unexpected.
Second down and 13 at the 18. Williams. And we were talking about Jerry Jones. Jerry with a very quick wit. Before the game, I'm standing down in the end zone with him. And, only in New York, the fans are so into everything. And they're yelling this and that at Jerry. And some guy yells out, "Hey, Jerry, where's Jimmy?" Obviously referring to Jimmy Johnson. And Jerry holds up his hand and he says, "Still looking for that third ring."
Yes, and the audio is turned up in Jerry's booth.
Jerry, that was a hell of a rejoinder, I got to tell you.
Well, Jimmy might get one. Hey, they're off to a 3-0 start down in Miami.
Third and 15 at the 20-yard line. Lofted into the end zone, intended for Irvin, and he gets tangled up with Sparks.
How much would you pay to see a Miami-Dallas Super Bowl?
As long as we covered it.
Oh, how great would that be? Oh, that would be.
Richie Cunningham now comes in. Cunningham is going to attempt his second field goal of the night. It'll be spotted at the 28-yard line.
That would be one of those Super Bowls. You'd need the extra week in between just to get all the sound bites in.
38-yard attempt. And not human.
Nope.
Missed it.
All right, the Giants caught a break.
See what the
chairman of the board of Capital Cities.
Wonderful man is.
Our old company.
Yep. Chris Callaway makes the catch here. Short gain, pickup of 3. Giants will have to begin to move with a little bit more alacrity at this point, down by 17. What do you think, Boomer?
I don't know. Don't start with me tonight.
Oh, no, I'm just asking. Don't you think they should move with alacrity? Not what it means.
Yeah, I guess so. How's that?
All right. You
quiz in the morning.
I can figure out what it means.
Second down and 7 from the 31. That's not quite an autocratic move either, as Charles Way gets stopped for no gain.
Okay, Al, you're impressing me, but I will tell you this, that the Cowboy defense is really impressing me. 7 guys around the ball. They're pursuing. They're still playing hard. They're coming after him. I mean, if you're the quarterback for the Giants right now, Danny Cadell, you have to be frustrated. Things are not working.
Well, there's Dave Campo, and he said last week that, did we have confusion? Yes. Did we have some panic? Yes, there was some. But this team, you had to wonder if they were able to rebound, and they certainly have.
Third down and 6. Cowboys run a stunt up front, and the stunt ends with Chad Hennings sacking Cannell.
That's just a 4-man rush. Nothing fancy there. A little what we used to call an end tackle game, where the end crashes to the inside, the defensive tackle loops around to the outside.
That's what we call a jailbreak.
Well,
where I come from.
Poor execution up front by the boys in blue on the offensive line. Watch here. There goes Pittman to the inside. Hennings just loops around to the outside and goes right between Way and Stone.
Fourth sack for the Cowboys. 4 different guys. Maynard's kick. Sanders calls for the fair catch. And Dion drops it at the 36-yard line. Scramble for the ball. Dallas has it.
I think Dion was able to corral it.
In his old sport, that would have been E8.
Yeah, he looked like, I don't know if he lost it in the lights because he's standing to the side, and then watch, the ball will be way to his right. All of a sudden it's much farther over to the right than he anticipated. It's not because of the wind. It is a perfectly still night here at the Meadowlands, a very rare occasion.
Strange sight for an old center fielder.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And Corey Whitmer almost has a chance to get that ball.
Looked like Dave Kingman.
Yes, it did. From the third. Speaking of that, we owe you the rest of that graphic, and we'll get to it.
Al, I'm just your setup guy.
I love it. From the 35-yard line, Sherman Williams with Emmett Smith still on the bench, up to the 37-yard line. Earlier, we had asked you about the 5 pitchers who have faced Roger Maris and Mark McGwire.
And we gave you
3. One of them has also faced Sammy Sosa. We told you about Tommy John and the Negro brothers. And a 4th, Nolan Ryan.
The 5th one's the tough one.
Yep. Who could it be? We've already got the Negros.
2nd and 8 from the 37. Up to the 42-yard line. Moose makes his first catch of the night, coming back from career-threatening neck surgery. Here's a reminder: Tuesday, September 29th, the bad guys finally get theirs. He's Justice with Attitude. Michael Madsen stars in a special preview of Vengeance Unlimited next Tuesday.
I would imagine Ike Hilliard and Daryl Johnston could have a conversation about neck surgery and how fortunate both of them are to be back in this game.
How courageous both of them are to still be playing.
You better believe it.
3rd down and 4 from the 41. Sherman Williams is close to a first down, tackled by the Giants' #1 draft choice, Sean Williams.
Looks like he'll be about 6 to 7 inches short.
Boomer effecting the Paul McGuire role.
Yes. S. Williams tackled by S. Williams here. And according to Boomer, just a paintbrush short.
That's what it was. Interesting call right here for the Cowboys. Are going to decide to go for it.
Or at least line up to go for it.
Now this would be, they aren't really going to go for this. I don't believe it.
They're trying to draw them offside.
Oh, okay. Time for the first 98 award, the Bonehead Award. Oh,
are you kidding me? I said last week it never works. It's the Meadowlands grind, guys.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
Oh, it never works.
Oh, they called Jason Garrett. They called Jason Garrett for moving his body and drawing Hamilton offsides. Boy, you know what? John Elway gets away with this. Let's watch it.
Come on, man.
Oh, well, he did. He flexed that right leg. He really moved that. That's over the limit.
Hey, there's a secret. Defensive linemen look at the legs of a quarterback through the offensive lineman, and if you move your legs, you can get them to jump.
That is a good call by the officiating crew.
So who gets the Bonehead of the Year award?
Not the Princeton guy. Toby Goen. There's a flag down there, a 2 down, in fact. Amani Toomer will run it back to the 20-yard line.
In reality, it's a pretty smart play by Garrett, because what does the 5-yard penalty really do to them? They still got off a kick that puts the Giants back at their 20-yard line. Although they left early, this had nothing to do with it. So it's really We've got one of the Dallas players down on the field, but in reality, it's kind of a good gamble by Garrett.
It's a smart play, and quarterbacks.
The Giants, a Monday night staple since 1971, and as you can see, the Cowboys have won all of the games, including the opener in '95, 35-0. And before that year had completely concluded, the Cowboys would go to the Super Bowl and win it in Barry Switzer's second season. Matt Cannell on first down, throwing deep and incomplete. Chris Callaway had gotten behind the secondary but can't come up with it.
That was interesting. I don't know who he was throwing it to there, either Hilliard or Callaway. Callaway looked like he adjusted to a ball that might have been thrown to Hilliard, because Callaway looked like he was going for a post. Yeah.
Pretty unusual to see two wide receivers within 4 yards of each other downfield.
You could see all the wide receivers going to the right, but it looked like Callaway was going down the numbers and had to adjust to a ball that was either poorly thrown or he thought that Callaway was going to do something else.
2nd and 10 now from the 20 in the final minute of the third period. Cannell dumps it underneath. It's incomplete. No fumble, no catch. Chris Callaway dropped it.
No, and watching Danny Cannell tonight, there's a lot of guys around him. There's people close to him. His space is being invaded, and has been all night long. It's very disrupting to a quarterback. And this ball might have even been caught and ruled a fumble by Callaway. I don't know. That's close.
Oh, it sure looks like he had control of the football to me, didn't it? Both feet.
It did.
Both feet were on the ground.
3rd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Giants get a break. We'll see if they can cash in. Here come the Cowboys. A lot of heat is on, and the catch is made, but a knee was down and contact was made well short of the first down. David Patton made the catch, but it was contacted immediately, and thus they're forced to punt again.
Anytime the Giants have been in long yardage situations, the Dallas Cowboys are bringing the blitz. They're forcing Danny to throw it short, and the receivers have to make a play after they catch the football.
And again, it's up the middle.
Here comes a low number, so you know that's going to be a safety.
There you see Stottmeyer coming up the middle. That was a 4-man look up front, but they came with 6.
Giants 10th punt. Maynard to Dion. Dion, who ran one back 59 for a touchdown in the first half. Inside the Giant 40 and tackled finally at the 35 as the third quarter comes to an end. Sean Williams finally brought him down, but the third quarter belongs to Dallas and a smiling Joe Avezzano. 24-7 Dallas, and Monday Night Football returns after this tomorrow at the New York 35 after the Sanders run back.
You really got to question kicking the ball to Deion Sanders down the middle of the field again.
Garrett on a roll, throws, and that's incomplete. Intended for Michael Irvin.
Boy, nice coverage by Felipe Sparks.
You have to be careful against Felipe Sparks, too. You know, he's been known to gamble as well on the sideline. You know, and he'll hang with the receiver. He's a tough, physical cornerback. You have to be in the NFC East when you're going to play guys like Michael Irvin, Irving Fryer, and Rob Moore and Frank Sanders.
That was just fantastic by Sparks. He gets a good jam on Irvin at the line of scrimmage, stays with him, and then gets physical with him on the break.
2nd and 10. Sherman Williams, and a nice open field tackle is made by Conrad Hamilton. If you're a Giant fan, though, right now, it has to really get you crazy. If somebody told you before the game the Cowboys come to town, no Aikman, and in 45 minutes Emmitt Smith has 7 carries for 21 yards, and your team is losing by 17, they think you are nuts.
I have a lot of Giant fans as friends, and they all told me the same thing, that, you know, they were nervous about this game just because of that fact.
Well, they saw how they self-destructed in Oakland last week, and they're not good enough to overcome that.
3rd down and 12. Pressure is put on, and the pass is incomplete. 4th down.
Well, John Fox that time got 2 good plays from his corners, and then on 3rd down comes in and makes a run at Garrett. The Giants defense is trying to give their offense a glimmer of hope.
And that was a terrific series by the Giants defense because basically it made the Deion Sanders punt return null and void.
Yeah, you don't give up a first down after that big punt return.
Toby going to try to pooch punt it.
Ugly but effective.
Yep. Out of bounds up at about the, well, last night Chan Gailey said, you know, my defensive unit last week, I look at it as an aberration. And I'm sure he was confident, but there might have been some wishful thinking involved as well. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Al, I found maybe the only man who's not completely rooting for Sammy Sosa, Mike Piazza of the Mets, who of course have a one-game lead over the Cubs in the wild card chase. What brings you here? Who are you watching?
We have a day off and just trying to unwind, and obviously played against Deion when he played baseball, so he's obviously an awesome football player. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Great guy to watch. Now, Boomer Esiason, as a Met fan, says whatever it takes, you got to stay in Met. What are the chances?
We'll figure it out later, but the main thing is, you know, we got 5 games left, and hopefully we get in the playoffs, and after that, who knows?
It's been a great summer for baseball. Thanks, Mike. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. And Amani Toomer holds in that catch, and the Giants pick up a first down up at the 36-yard line.
I don't like that comment by Mike Piazza. That doesn't mean, that means he's not coming back.
That means show me the money.
Well, you know what? The Mets have it. Let's go. Pay it up. Let's keep him here. He's a great player. He's a superstar. No, I did go see Mark McGwire's 50th and 51st home run, by the way.
There's a superstar.
That was the first down for the Giants in this half. And that catch is made by Chris Callaway, who got spun down at the 41.
And if you were in Milwaukee, you could have seen 65 and 66, except 66 got taken away.
I don't think Jim Fossil's really worried about number 66 right now.
No,
Jim Fossil's worried about getting 86th right now.
Jim Fossil's worried about putting a couple of his players on Route 66.
Yes.
Which is where a couple of them might be after this game.
Second down and 5. And that's caught by Tiki Barber.
You know, the thing about Jim Fossil is that he is a stickler for detail. And he basically demands from all of his players that they carry their playbook at all times, that they study their playbook. It's one of the reasons that the Giants made it to the playoffs last year is because he demanded from them. And he'll have to do his best work now here in the 4th quarter in the upcoming week.
Well, he has to be terribly disappointed because of how expressly he challenged his team prior to this game. And the response just hasn't been there.
This is a vital drive for the Giants, and Way makes the catch, but Stoudemire makes the tackle for a loss.
I mean, Omar's been all over the place tonight. That time Bishop and Scott came out on the screen. They have to be able to see and find where Stoudemire's coming from. They can't let him split like this.
Let's take a look at Leon Lett. Look at the explosion off the ball. Again, he's just making life miserable for Danny Cannell. He completes the pass, but this Dallas defense is right now just smothering the Giants.
Second down and 14. And that's incomplete. Update a report on Nate Hemsley, who we saw taken off a dislocated ankle as they took him back to the locker room, and it's being x-rayed right now. And Cowboys special teams guy and backup linebacker.
You hope that Nate has a successful recovery, but wow, that's a bad injury.
This is a big play for the Giants. They need 3 scores. They only have 11 minutes, and they have a 3rd down and 14. And the Cowboys can start chewing up the clock if they get it back. And Cannell throws, and he converts on a huge play to the 33-yard line to Chris Callaway on a 3rd and 14.
I'd like to see the Giants run their hurry-up offense right now. I think what they have to do is they have to try to wear down the Dallas defense. They haven't been on the field that much. There's no sense of Eaton trying to, get in a huddle. Let's get going. Danny throws a nice ball in the seams right here. Keeps the ball low, and Callaway makes a nice play after the catch.
And the shotgun, first down from the 33. Teague walks up to the line.
There's a false start. Roman Oben, the left tackle, one more time rocks back in his stance.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 72, 5 yards, still first down.
When you have the youngest team in football, you're going to have mistakes.
Although, Boomer, what's frustrating is that this is the same offensive line that played intact as a unit last year for Jim Fassel and the Giants, and he expected a lot of growth this year, and in his own words he said this unit has regressed.
First and 15. And Cannell throws, and there's a flag. Amani Toomer was in a sandwich with Kevin Smith.
And a flag is down.
George Teague, the other back.
Before the game, I was talking to Kevin Smith down on the sideline. I said, now, Kevin, you guys aren't going to be holding tonight now, are you? Because they are notorious. They're known for holding at corner.
Holding on the defense, number 26, 5 yards, automatic first down.
And I will tell you that the coaching staff of the Giants probably went to the officials and said, hey, you know, you got to watch these guys closely. They're a physical bunch of corners in Dallas. You can see right here, Kevin is going to put his arm out. He's trying to get away with one. Oops.
Although on a 1st and 15, it's really only a 5-yard penalty. It's hardly devastating.
That's caught by Hilliard. Nice spin move. A flag gets thrown. He loses the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. She had a catch, a penalty, and a fumble.
That almost looked like Hilliard threw the ball, didn't it? Boy, that came out of his hands awkwardly. He bobbled the thing. He had it bouncing around on his chest a little bit, and then he almost batted it away himself, I guess.
It's on the Giants. It's the Cowboys' ball.
Now the illegal block in the back, the offense number 88. That penalty's declined. First down for Dallas.
A killer.
Well, Ike Hilliard's just trying to make something happen. He spins away from the first tackler, and whack, he knocks it away himself.
Nope. Something hands taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Central matchup on Monday Night Football next Monday night.
Big weekend in Michigan. Michigan State on Saturday. ABC will be there for that, and then just hang out until Monday night and sip over to the Silver Dome.
Are you going to the game?
Considering it.
You are?
Yes, considering it. They rebounded with that big win over Eastern Michigan last week.
And we talked about before the game, the keys to the Dallas Cowboy win is the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys have played well tonight thus far.
They certainly have.
2nd and 6, and again without Emmitt Smith for the most part. Sherman Williams. It's so funny when you think about it. The Cowboys begin this season with what they hope will be a rejuvenated and completely healthy Emmitt Smith, and then a backup, Chris Warren, who's the Seahawks all-time leading ground gainer. And now you've got a game in New York, a vital early season game, and your guy is Sherman Williams, who is sitting at home until opening day.
But yet, Al, even with all that, you can still look around that offensive huddle and see Eric Williams, Nate Newton, Larry Allen, Daryl Johnston. You know, a lot of proven winners still play football for the Dallas Cowboys.
And Williams picks up a first down, and that's important because it'll take at least another couple of minutes off the clock.
Michael Irvin, another guy. You know, this is still a talent-rich football team.
Definitely battle-tested as well. And Leon Lett's one of those guys, and you know, when you get them on the football field, they're as talented as anybody in the NFL. And as long as they're motivated.
And Boomer, Leon Lett, a guy who's just getting back into game shape. You know, injured his knee in the preseason 5 weeks ago. Only had 1 tackle in the first 2 games. Feeling his way back into it. And the big cat not even close to being full speed yet.
First and 10 from the 26. Williams. You know, on the other side of the ball for the Giants tonight, as they will have to address a lot of problems now with a 1-2 record and all of the penalties last week and the blown opportunity. And the rushing game again tonight, 17 carries for the Giants, 50 yards, and that's not going to cut it. That's less than 3 yards a carry.
Which is their average, Al. 2.9 is what they had coming into this game.
And the Giants go to San Diego next week, and Ryan Leaf had one of those rookie days. I believe he was 1 of 15, had a couple interceptions, a few fumbles. It was just all around ugly game. You know, the Giants defense might be able to get healthy out there, but the San Diego defense is a pretty good defense.
2nd and 8. They keep calling Sherman Williams' number, and he responds with another first down out to the 40-yard line. He's tackled there by Sean Williams. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? Ford Taurus. Ford, built to last. Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. And Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
A late arriving crowd here at the Meadowlands.
Early leaving. But actually,
is that what they're doing?
Yeah, actually.
Sherman Williams has now carried the ball 18 times for 58. Carry number 19 picks up about a yard to the 41.
You know, if you're the Giants, it's like any team around the league. You have to realize that, you know, it's a marathon. The season is a marathon. You're going to have your ups and downs. And certainly the Giants didn't expect this tonight, but you can't panic. You have to stay the course. You have to stay with what you believe. What took them to the playoffs last year will hopefully rear up and take them again this year. But this man right here has got to do a sell job on his team. They're probably thinking about their confidence right now, and I don't think the defense of the Giants ever thought that the Cowboy offense would be able to move the ball like this.
2nd and 9 from the 41. Williams. Boomer mentioned the Giants go to San Diego, and then they follow that up with another road game at Tampa Bay before coming back here in the middle of October for Atlanta and Arizona.
There aren't many motivating factors more important than a team who loses their leader, their star player, and how they respond to that. And you could guarantee the fact that the Dallas Cowboys were going to play a good football game tonight. Whether they would win or not, you can't guarantee that, but you knew they would play well to cover for Troy.
You know, and I think it goes back again to the offensive and defensive lines, and I'm sure Campo said a few things in his defensive meetings this week.
3rd and 6, and Williams gets taken down by Robert Harris. Crowd filing out of Giants Stadium, and the aerials once again tonight provided from a helicopter provided by Southwest Airlines.
And in reality, you know, the New York Giants defensive team has played well enough to win. They've only surrendered 17 points. And anytime you hold somebody under 20, you think maybe that's enough to win. The Cowboys have scored 24, but remember 7 of those were on the punt return by Deion Sanders.
Toby going. They're going to let the clock go all the way down. And then Goen sends it skyward into the arms of Amani Toomer at the 11-yard line. And he's taken down at the 18-yard line. Giants get it back. 4:03 left in the 4th. Cowboys 24, Giants 7. Or go over to ESPN, where the Monday Night Football post-game show will take place for live reports and analysis.
You know, this is a real dangerous spot in the game, Al, for a quarterback, because, you know, the defensive line is not respecting any threat of the run whatsoever. You have to be smart. You know that you're down by 17 points. You have to be careful with the football, and you have to protect yourself.
And it's raining. And Cannell throws. Barber. Cheeky out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
What you're trying to do here is just build a little confidence back up into your offense, move the ball effectively. You know, try to get 7 points if you can, but you definitely have to take care of yourself here. You have to watch out, and you don't want to make any stupid plays and expose yourself to injury.
And as an offensive lineman, you fight your butt off.
Absolutely.
To protect your quarterback.
Do not give up.
No.
2nd and 1 from the 27. Cannell whacked as he throws, gets it out to Hilliard, and Ike is taken down at the 44.
Well, Danny's been used to that tonight. He's been hit quite a bit. He's been sacked 4 times as opposed to Jason Garrett, who hasn't been hit at all, or hasn't been sacked at all, I should say.
Boomer, you and I looked at each other after the first 2 plays of the game tonight when Danny Cannell got hit hard both times and said this has got to change.
First down from the 43. Cannell falling down, slipping down at the 33 was David Patton. The Giants and the Cowboys, well, they go all the way back. They go back to 1960. And in that game in 1960, the quarterback was Lee Grosscup for the New York Giants. The Cupper, a #1 draft choice, throws and hits, I think it was Bob Schnelker for the touchdown. And that's how this series began.
And Cupper has had 2 pops in the first 3 games.
Absolutely. We're on some kind of a roll here. Second down and 10. That's tip and incomplete. In and out of the hands of Chris Callaway. Cupper looked great. People forget he was an All-American at Utah, a school at which Jim Fossil was the head coach in the late 1980s.
This is where it really gets miserable. It starts raining, the ball's slippery. Your team's losing. You basically got beaten up pretty good.
Cannell on 3rd and 10. And that's caught by Ike Hilliard.
But they can all go home and pop in their cassette of Miss America and pass the night.
Yes, or wait for tomorrow night when they can watch Sports Night. A new show, a good one right here on ABC. You can go behind the scenes of live TV and meet the people who make it happen. Talent, production, executives, incomplete, accountants, the whole shebang on Sports Night.
You're just jealous because I had more fun with Meredith than I'm having with you guys.
You looked like you were having a wonderful time. Did a very nice job, too, I know.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of nice jobs, our same old crew has gathered again this year. Kenny Wolf, our producer, Craig Janoff directing. 29 years Monday Night Football has been turning on the lights, and our guys do it better than anything.
Amen. Second down and 10 at the 44. And that's knocked down. Kevin Mathis.
Well, I think Leon Lett is making a statement right now, guys. I mean, he is all over Danny Cannell.
And I don't think Danny Cannell should have to wait for anybody when it comes time to use the hot whirlpool.
Absolutely not.
They ought to all get out of the way and give him first dibs.
I'll tell you, if this big fella comes back full speed, baby. Woo.
Leon Lett
is coming right inside.
Well, first of all,
man,
he's not running over anybody. They're just letting him go.
3rd and 20. Cannell takes another shot, and that pass is incomplete. It's 4th down.
It's gotten to the point now where, you know what? How many more shots are you going to let him take?
Gets to the point where the linebacker who knocks you down helps you get back up, as Coakley just did.
Well, they are running all sorts of motion. Look at the twisting, the stunning, the blitzing. And why not? That's all the Giants are going to see until they demonstrate that they can pick it up.
One thing about the Dallas Cowboy linebackers, they're not real big, but they are quick, and they can hide behind their defensive linemen. Do a nice job of setting up the blitzes.
On 4th and 10. The receiver slips. It is intercepted by Sanders. Can he score again?
Yep.
There he goes. Deion Sanders. .71 yards. 16 return touchdowns in his career. The 8th time he's run back an interception. And the NFL record is 9 by the great Ken Houston.
You know what? I don't know if Danny Cannell could have gotten a tackle here because somebody would have to peel him off the ground. That's about the 15th time that he's been leveled. And I'm not talking about hit, guys. I am talking about leveled.
so Dion with the punt return touchdown, then the interlude, an IV at the half, and the interception run back. And so for Dion tonight, a 59-yard punt return for a TD, a 55-yard pass reception, a 39-yard punt return, and a 71-yard interception return. 31-7. Deion Sanders always asks us to say hi to his kids in Houston, so I said to him tonight before the game, if you score twice, we will. Hi, kiddies. And Daddy says go to bed.
Whatever was in that IV, I want some of it.
I'm telling you, rocket fuel.
Lonnie Palele runs it back, the squib kick. Now, we know we've kept the audience for the fifth pitcher.
It's time to reward the faithful.
The five who faced Maris and McGuire, those four, and Don Sutton. Just went into the Hall of Fame this year. Now, which one also faced Sammy Sosa? That's the bonus question tonight.
What am I going to give that one? A Thorn Nightline or what?
Next week from the Silver Dome, Kent Graham is the new quarterback.
Really, what's probably the most insulting to the Giants right now, a lot of their fans have left, and a lot of the Cowboy fans are staying right here.
Kent Graham in at quarterback, and so the third pitcher, or the only pitcher to face all three, Nolan Ryan.
And Sammy Sosa is 0 for 16.
Boy, what a team we are.
Unbelievable.
3 blind mice.
What about Leslie?
Oh, that's right. Is she still here?
Leslie's working on a feature for next week.
I'll tell you, a big fella comes back like he did tonight. He made a statement, Leon Lett did.
Yes, he did. But this is an offensive line for the Giants that is going to see a healthy dose of line stunts, blitzes, loops, everything there is until they show they can handle it.
Graham hands the ball off, and this is Greg Pamela.
No, that's a good point, Dan, is because this league is a copycat league, and if one team has success given a particular type of stunt or defense, then they will see it again next week. Will the Giants?
2-minute warning.
Disgust and embarrassment, I would say.
And he barely blinked in the 2-minute commercial that we just ran while we were away. Graham nearly has that one picked off and run back for a touchdown by Charlie Williams. And there's a flag down.
This could be a roughing the passer.
Artie Smith was one of the Cowboys who came in.
Now, this is the point of the game we were talking about, that defensive lineman.
Foul, rubbing the passer, number 93, 15 yards, first down.
They want to get their licks in here, and Artie Smith hasn't played much tonight, and he gets a chance to make a play here, and he levels Kent Graham. And this is the part of the game a quarterback has to realize that they're coming out after him.
But I think by the same token, this is also the point in the game where the officiating crew has a job to do and a responsibility to protect the quarterback. I think that's a good call by Walt Coleman.
Greg Kamala out of bounds in Dallas territory at the 49-yard line.
I would think that the film study of this game is going to be long and arduous for the New York Giants. There's going to be a lot of corrections made. There's going to be a lot of hurt feelings as well.
Kenny Wolf is our fabled producer, and Craig Janoff calling all of the shots year after year. Joey Chavo, nary a knuckle job again this season. Ben Harvey, our associate producer. A knuckle, by the way, Boomer, in television lingo, a knuckle job is when you punch up the wrong camera. But Joey has not done that in 18.5 seasons. Jaime Bravo is our associate director. Ed McKenna, Claude Phipps, and Hal Schmitz, all part of our traveling circus, along with Chris Pfeiffer and Billy Boland, the guys who never sleep. Our director of information, the great Steve Hurt. And up in the booth, Lynn Vandenberg running the operation. George Hill is our statistician. And our spotter, Malibu, Kelly Hayes. 3rd down and 7 at the 49-yard line.
I think Kent Graham's finding out just exactly what Danny Cannell went through the whole night. That's 3 times he's dropped back to pass and 3 times he's been hit. And you can see Danny shaking his head in disgust. Well, the game is played by 11 guys on the field, and you know all 11 have to be working in sync. Guys have to be doing their jobs if you're going to be successful as an offense or a defense, and it's certainly not been the case for the Giant offense tonight. Troy, look, I'll be back in week 15. Is that all right, guys?
On 4th down and 7, Graham launches it, and a flag is thrown. Amani Toomer comes down with it.
Yeah, I think Kevin Smith probably going to be called for riding Toomer out of bounds. Boomer talked about the physical play of the Dallas corners.
Interference on the defense, number 26. First down.
Right here, he just runs right into Toomer and runs him right out of bounds. Kevin Smith at this point in time really not even interested in making a play on the ball. Heck of a job by Toomer. Knowing he was out of bounds, his instincts took over and he caught it anyway.
From the 27-yard line. That's incomplete. Dan, you know we've done a lot of games in the past where at 31-7 the game wasn't quite over, but this one is over.
I understand.
I'll even agree with that.
Yes. Yes. Not that many points were expected to be scored by this team tonight.
I think most of our audience understands.
Oh, yeah, they do. Whatever's left right now certainly does. 2nd down and 10 as Graham throws, and that's batted at the line of scrimmage. And Emmitt Smith has had the second half off and most of the night as well, and they're still going to go back with a victory.
No, not much has been said. We haven't talked much about Jason Garrett and his performance tonight. Again, it wasn't high accuracy, but it was big numbers. He moved the football team. Chan Gailey said that he liked him because that's what he does. He moves the team, and he made some big plays. That's some nice balls to Michael Irvin, threw the nice ball to Deion Sanders down the middle that the Giant defenders couldn't make a play on. He stepped up. He did exactly what they have him there for, to make the plays to win the football game.
3rd down and 10. Graham brings it out of bounds, intended for Juravicius, and it will be 4th down.
Well, I think it's safe to say the difference between Jason Garrett and Danny Cannell tonight was that the players surrounding Jason Garrett played this game at a much higher level than the players surrounding Cannell.
Well, and you had the Deion Sanders show going on tonight. I still am baffled a little bit by punting the ball down the middle of the field to a player like Deion Sanders, who is so dangerous at any given time. It's always written about. Everybody talks about it. So you have to question a little bit of the strategy in that situation.
On 4th and 10, that's intercepted at the 11-yard line. This time it is Kenny Wheaton. And he brings it back to the Giant 48.
Boy, that didn't look like Deion returning it.
And Dave Campo, who watched his defense just get shredded last week, with a big smile and accepts congratulations as his D has done the job.
It's 4th down. You have to throw the ball somewhere.
Well, there's one way of looking at it.
Well, I mean, you're not going to take a sack there. You're going to try to get a completion. Obviously, there's no consequence to it.
Well, it was an unfortunate situation for Kent Graham to come into a game in that area, Boomer, but the fact of the matter is he either got knocked down or didn't throw the ball anywhere near a receiver.
Well, you know, nobody likes to come in a game in that situation, Dan. I mean, it's not an easy thing. He was hit 5 or 6 times, and hey, look, you just 4th down, you got to throw the ball.
Mike Quinn will finish out the game with a couple of kneel downs, the backup quarterback. The Cowboys, meanwhile, last year all season long had 7 interceptions. fewest in the league. They had none in the first 2 games. They have 3 tonight, and Jason Garrett will go to 3-0 lifetime. And the Cowboys will take a nice ride home and get ready to face the Raiders on Sunday, and the Giants will have a short week and go all the way to San Diego on Sunday afternoon.
And I'll tell you, living here in New York and playing here in New York, the Giants can't wait to board that plane.
You're saying they don't want to be here next week?
Oh, I'll tell you what, probably the best medicine for them is to get out of here and go out there and play well and try to get away with a win.
They go out with a record of 1-2, and the Cowboys are now alone on top of the NFC East with a record of 2-1. The Cowboys win it 31-7. We'll wrap it up from the Meadowlands after this. Back at the Meadowlands, let's go down to Leslie Visser.
Al, there's a reason they've called him prime time, offense, defense, special teams. How do you describe the night you had, Dion?
Oh, first of all, I'd like to give God the glory. If you get in a God game, he'll get into yours. A wonderful man of God once told me.
You know, on the sideline, a couple guys told me that you said you were going to intercept the ball and run it in. Is that true?
I don't know if I'm prophesying yet, but I felt wonderful, and the Lord just blessed me tonight. A wonderful game on Monday Night Football. What else could you ask for?
What was wrong at you at halftime and you had an IV? I think Boomer and Dan said rocket fuel.
I spent everything that was inside of me. I was a little nauseated before the game, and I was getting very tired in the first and second series, and that punt return took everything out of me.
And just what about the play of Jason Garrett, maybe the biggest Princeton player since Charlie Gogolak?
He's a blessing, and we spoke to him before the game. Everyone assured him that we was going to be there behind him, supporting him no matter what. But we knew Jason was ready. He waited his time, and he was ready to step in. He done a wonderful job tonight.
Thank you, Dan. It was a great effort for the Cowboys. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Leslie. After the game, now stay tuned to ABC for your late local news or other programming, or go to ESPN Sports Center Monday Night Football postgame show for live reports and analysis. We move on to Pontiac, Michigan next week, where the Detroit Lions will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, the final score tonight, the Dallas Cowboys 31 and the New York Giants 7. Al Michaels for Dan Deerdorf. Boomer Esiason.